All right, music fans, welcome back to The Real Music. I want to talk
Observer.
about a band that I really like. It's new music. It's a band called Pinnacle Point, and it features this guy, Jerome Mazza, okay? Jerome is actually working on Steve Walsh's new project, which I think is coming out sometime in the fall. Steve Walsh, formerly of Kansas. And here's the deal. If you like Kansas, if you like Deep Purple, but especially if you like Kansas, and you like that style of music Kansas made on, say, Point of No Return, hence the name Pinnacle Point, maybe, Left Overture, Audio Visions, right in sort of that wheelhouse of albums, even going back maybe a little bit further to like the stuff on the self-titled Kansas album or Song for America, any of that sort of stuff. Pinnacle Point, I told you, Jerome Mazza is the lead vocalist. The guy is spot on. He's kind of like a milder version of Steve Walsh vocally, but he does have the kind of range that Walsh had in his prime. There's just so much to talk about on this project that I like. I'm trying to get some of the players on this. Dennis Hansen plays drums. Kara C plays violin. And yes, there is a very strong violin on many of these tracks, just like the slower tunes or even the faster tunes that Kansas did in the day. But especially the more mid-tempo and slower tunes. There's a lot of acoustic guitars on this project. This is an organic sounding album. It's not a wall of sound coming at you. They're not trying to mask, no pun intended, or disguise their love and respect for the band Kansas. This is a Kansasonian, if that's a word, project through and through. Howard Helm plays keyboards, and he's masterful throughout. And this guy, I'm going to mess his name up, Torben Evenvold, Envoldsen. I'm going to try that, Envoldsen, okay? He plays guitar on this, and he's masterful. He's like Rich Williams and Steve Morse and a bunch of people all rolled into one guy. He's just tremendous. The tracks that I love on this, Damage Is Done, a rocker. It almost sounds like Streets, which was Steve Walsh's band after Kansas for a little while. He left Kansas, had 2 Streets albums, came back to Kansas on Power, and then was with the band for quite some time, and then recently left, and Ronnie Platt is now the new singer. Winds of Change, no, it's not a Scorpions tune. This, though, it just sounds like something right off a Point of No Return. It's got this organic, earthy, acoustic, ear candy. It's brilliant. Never Let Go is a rocker. I love it. It's just another sort of balls to the wall, hit you hard, real authentic music song. You're gonna love it. All We Need to Know is probably the most Kansas song on this album. I mean, it all sounds like Kansas, but this particular track, it does a better job of being Kansas than Kansas did up until their last album, which really reasserted their, classic prog sound. This is just brilliant. It's actually, I would say this is a little poppier than the latest Kansas album, which is more proggy. This really emphasizes sort of the slower paced Kerry Livgren compositions that were more stripped down, more eloquent sounding. This does it. Homeward Bound is a great mid-tempo track. Sail Away is the tune that I thought sounded a lot like Deep Purple. It's got this organ part in there which really echoes some classic Deep Purple, maybe mid-80s sounding Deep Purple stuff from like Perfect Strangers. It's good though. It's really good. What Will It Take is it's a ballad. It's a strong ballad. It reminds me of something off the album Power. It's really hits you in the gut. It's got a strong sort of quiet presence to it, but then explodes and just gets more dramatic as the song rolls through. I just love that tune. And another tune, I didn't do every tune on this, but With You is another slow acoustic song. This is an album you can listen to from start to finish. Again, the band is called Pinnacle Point. The tune is called, the album is called Winds of Change. Okay, Pinnacle Point, Winds of Change. This is something I believe that's on Escape music label. I'm not 100% sure on that. If you Google it, look it up. It's on YouTube. I think it's on Spotify. I had some people, when I talked about it before, tell me that they were streaming it and they were loving it. Again, Pinnacle Point, one more time, Winds of Change. This album is one of my favorite releases so far in the year 2017. It's new music and it's good, which is very, very rare. I'm Dave, and this is the Real Music Observer, and we'll be back observing more real music in real time real soon. We'll talk to you then.